So you're watching this because you are a business owner or an organization, and you're trying to get customers and clients. You've tried different things. They may have worked, they may have not worked, or you're just looking for some things to maybe add to what you're doing. So I want to share with you 5 things you need to do today to start getting the customers and clients that you want. But first, I need you to please like this video and subscribe to the channel. This helps me help more people like you who are trying to grow their business, who are trying to get customers, and just I want to get this information out there, and you could be a great help to doing that. So let's get into it. Number 1, your target. You want to get focused on your who. Who is the person? That's going to be one of the most important things. A lot of times we start business or people get into business and it's like everybody's my client. And no, you really want to get a target and a focus. It's just like everybody doesn't like football, everybody doesn't like basketball, everybody don't like sports. And when you understand that there are different people, different personalities, that's going to make a difference in you deciding on your demographic. Do you know the location of the customer or client that you want to get? Is it a certain state, certain city, certain country? The age. You know that someone in their 20s is in a different mindset in many cases than someone in their 40s. Just different things are just going on. So when you're doing your advertising and your marketing, you know that there are going to be certain drivers. There might be music, there might be entertainers. Those things make a huge difference when it comes to age. And then nationality. Sometimes culture makes a huge difference in who you decide. It could be a factor, it could not be a factor, but it's something to consider when deciding on that target. Interests. Like I said, I talked about sports. Some people are into sports, some people are into music, some people are into art, farming. You've got so many interests out there. So maybe you can decide on what is the interest that your target audience is looking at. That's going to make a huge difference on you really getting down and being able to attract that customer. So I would suggest that if you haven't already, take the time, write it down, write it out, really think about who. And you don't have to get super duper specific. It'll help, but it does help narrow down. Are you going after a certain person in a certain career? Are you going after business owners? Those things you really want to write down. And if you don't quite know, maybe you've done the business already, and you could look at some of the similarities of all the clients that you work with before. Or just think about who you would like to work with, who's ideal. So that's the thing about your target. The next thing is decide what, where, who are you going to tell, who are you going to tell what you're doing about. So that's AKA marketing. Like, how are you going to get the word out? Keep in mind, one thing that I read about and understood, and I think it was Dan Kennedy that said it, great marketer, great marketing books. People don't just wake up thinking about your product or service unless you really offer something that's like emergency or something like that. Everybody has got stuff going on in their life. And keep in mind, we're constantly getting different types of marketing, whether it's t-shirts, billboards, things on cars. So you have to make the effort to put what you're doing out there. It's up to you to decide if you're going to do it, how often you're going to do it. But the thing is, you have to decide, how are you going to put it out there? So are you going to go out networking? If that's your thing, if you're comfortable with doing it. I've got videos on ways to network, but networking, that might be one way. Are you going to do organizational membership? So if it's Toastmasters or BNI or the Chamber of Commerce or any organizations that involve a lot of networking or do things with business owners, are you going to join organizations? That's something to consider. Speaking opportunities, I don't necessarily mean that you're going to be like this big speaker, but speaking opportunities could be something as simple as a church function. It could be a church function. It could be a school function. It could be an organization. Some civic organizations are looking for speakers like every single week. So speaking would be an opportunity for you to get in front of a group and not necessarily sell them, but to talk about your product and service and how it could benefit them or benefit someone that they might know. So those would be speaking opportunities. And then workshops. A lot of organizations, your churches, civic groups, sometimes they have workshops you could be a part of, or you could put on a workshop and partner with an organization. But workshops could segue from speaking engagements, could be a great opportunity to talk about your product or your service and the benefits of it or how it works. Partnerships, like I say, I go into workshops and partnerships are huge when really building your marketing plan. And partnerships can go a number of different ways. Say you're a DJ and you're trying to build your clientele. So as a DJ, one thing you might want to look at is who could you partner with that may have the same clients you have but not be your competition. So DJ, you typically, let's say you do weddings and you're interested in doing weddings. So if that's the case, a lot of weddings want a DJ, but in a wedding, what are some of the things they need in a wedding? They need a florist. They need a bridal gown, tuxedo. They need a photographer. These would be great business owners that you could actually create like a connection, a circle of connection with. And if you get clients, say you do weddings and you get weddings that are looking for these, you could pass referrals on to them, so you could really build a good partnership. And you can have, it doesn't have to be one photographer or one florist, you could have a few of them. And because there might be some that you might connect with and some might not connect with. Not everybody's always open to partnerships, but you may need to get a number. If you got if you know a number of photographers, you know a number of florists, you know a number of bridals, you know a number of event planners, that would put you at a very good position. And I would definitely think a DJ would want an event planner. But think about in your business, who are people that may have the same client as you would have that you could partner with. And that's a big part of marketing that you could really do relationship building. Some other things, of course, the social media platforms. I'm a social media guy, so I'm always talk about social media. I recommend you have to really gauge on how you can handle social media. You may just do one platform. You may do two. I would go into 4 platforms. Think about your target, where your target audience would be. I always give an example. If your company is a hospice or you do anything along that lines, Snapchat might not be the platform for you. Not saying that it can't happen, but you really want to consider, where is your target audience? Where do they sit? There are a lot of different platforms, and you definitely want to consider that when deciding on where you're going to market. TV, still good, still works. It just depends on your strategy. There's radio, still a great place, and then print material. So if you've got flyers, if you have brochures, so those are a lot of different methods that you can consider. Letting people know what you do, aka marketing, that you really want to consider. The next thing, creating content. Creating content is so key. Content doesn't necessarily, people may reference to content just being on social media, but content could actually be a brochure. So let's say that you're a plumber. You could actually create a brochure. Say you're a plumber that you're wanting to get certain type of services done that might be more maintenance services versus being that responsive plumber. You want to be more of a proactive plumber. So maybe you offer a service where you go into homes and you check their pipes and make sure that their pipes are in good condition. I'm not sure if there's a service that exists. But in that, you could actually print a brochure that talks about the top 5 things you should make sure as a homeowner you look at that could be running your water bill sky high. And that could be a brochure that you create. So you could have print media. So I'm still an advocate for print media. It does work, especially if you do workshops or you do if you go to, say, trade show events, things like that. You set up a booth that I honestly have found that no matter what type of business, you could do a booth. You could get creative with it. Just depends on how creative you want to be. But content can go many different ways. One of the biggest things that's growing is video content. And video content can go a number of different ways. You can do video content where it comes to television, or you could do video content on social media. Definitely works on social media, and you definitely want to consider video content. Content, whatever type of content you put out there, make sure that it's content that solves a problem or helps someone. You want to make sure that you're solving a problem, or you're helping someone with solving a problem, or you're answering a question, or you're giving advice. That's going to be the best content that I would recommend that you put out there that's going to create that know, like, trust. As you build this business, as you're trying to get those customers, you want to build that know, like, trust. And when you become a source, an information source, you definitely become that know, like, trust. The next thing is take action. You got to implement. It's one thing to have all this stuff. You know your target market. You've got all your ideas. But you got to take action. You got to implement. You got to move. None of that stuff matters until you take action. If you really want to get those customers, you want to get them today, you've got to take action. You've got to move on this stuff. You've got to decide what it is you're going to do, and you've got to go do it. Last, but definitely not least, and the most important thing when it comes to the things that you need to do when starting that business and getting customers, or in that business and growing those customers and clients, is be consistent. Being consistent. If you're going to go to the networking event and you're going to sign up for that membership that includes a networking event, go to those events. If you're going to post on social media and you're going to post on social media every Monday, be with it. Every Monday. Don't just post 2 Mondays and then skip 4 weeks. You know, I admit I have been guilty. It happens to all of us, but it is important for us, if we get off the track, get back on the track and keep going. You want to, because when you get off the track, it gets that much harder. And at times you could, I'm not going to say you lose the trust of your client or customer, but out of sight, out of mind. If they don't see you, then it's like, well, maybe they're not doing it anymore, or maybe something happened. But if they see you show up, they see you in that feed, they see you at that event, they see you, that's going to be another thing. Now, if they know you, that's one thing, and knowing and seeing just develops those things. So let's recap. Number 1, knowing your target. Number 2, marketing, deciding how you're going to get the word out. Number 3, create that content that helps. Number 4, take action, make it happen. Number 5, be consistent. You definitely want to do that. So tell me, what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Tell me, what are some things you think that are important when it comes to getting customers or clients? Do you feel like the list that I gave was a great list? Can you add to it? Let me know. Definitely leave a comment. That's going to be really important to help you, to help me. I definitely respond to my comments, so I would love for you to let me know. And if you're looking for more information on how to grow your business, how to get good marketing, networking, definitely check out my other videos.